Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday. It's the 10th of May. It's bloody breezy outside and a little bit warm here in Tablefish HQ. 24.5 degrees in the chair I'm sitting in, according to the radiator. I hope you guys are well. I hope you had a good week off last week. You had a good weekend. Hope you're looking forward to a bit of Tablefish. We've got, as usual, 48 questions plus a movie still pixel round. So loads to get through today on Tablefish. I hope you're absolutely stoked. I've just realized there's something in the deck I need to fix. Yeah, no, that all looks good. I don't know what's going on. All right, so in Tablefish bugs that I never fixed, right? For some reason, in about 20 seconds, the PowerPoint's going to move to the next slide. Right now, you can see my hands. I'm not touching anything. But when you start the presentation, for some reason, if you don't do anything for a couple of seconds, it just advances the first slide. Does anyone know why it does that? Does PowerPoint do that for everybody? Does it just do that for me? Is it just because it's in windowed mode or something? I don't know what's going on. Tablefish bugs that I never fixed, or you just never took the time to understand. Anyway, yeah, let's. I've just got to put the answers for one or two bits into the platform. So just bear with me for a second. Hey, Charles. Is a mistake of design? Hello, fan. We'll get started in just a moment. We're probably starting a smidgen late today. Hope everyone's all right with that. Oh, it's advancing more slides. Back you go. I don't know why he's making me laugh. Let's go. Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's feeling summery in Dublin. I think it's good news for everybody. I think everything's ready to go. Small one tonight, to be expected, given that it's summary. So we've only got 6 teams on the scoreboard. Absolute Tulips, Quarantine and Turner, Faith Razzle Gene with Finn on Civil Servants and Team Lobster. Loads to play for. Let's get rolling. Team captains should be able to see your answer sheets. We'll skip on to round 1, general knowledge. With only 6 teams, I'm probably not going to give you guys time. I'm not going to be like, you have 2 minutes to get your answers in. Just get them in quickly and we'll get on with it. But anyway, team captains should be able to see your answer sheets. Let's go. What Italian city was Marco Polo born and buried in? We'll run the intro after halftime because I just realized I forgot it. With only 6 teams on the scoreboard, I'm also placing extra burden on you to be good crack in the chat, because otherwise I'm on my own. What Italian city was Marco Polo born and buried in? Let's go. What city is hosting this year's edition of Eurovision? Yes, the first semi-final is now, actually. It's underway. That might explain where half of our teams are. What city is hosting this year's edition of the Eurovision? Question 3. MERS infection attacks what organ in the body? One of the OG coronaviruses. Coronavirus. MERS infection attacks what organ in the body? Zip on to question 4. What American TV sitcom featured the dysfunctional Bundy family and ran from 87 to 97? What American TV sitcom featured the dysfunctional Bundy family and ran from 87 to 97? Question 5. Round, flat, filbert, and sword are all types of what? Round, flat, filbert, and sword are all types of what? Question 6. Metalloids, actinides, and lanthanides are all groups of what? Metalloids, actinides, and lanthanides are all groups of what? Apologies to anyone who knows how to pronounce that and is offended by my butcher job. What's the group of lines within a poem called? It's usually a group of lines arranged in a recurring pattern. What's the group of lines within a poem called? Question 8. In what Disney movie will you hear the song You Can Fly? In what Disney movie will you hear the song You Can Fly? Alright, here's your first pixelate of the night. You guys know how this works. Try to tell us what movie this picture is from. I'll let you know if you got it. And we get on to our recap. What Italian city was Marco Polo born and buried in? What city is hosting this year's edition of Eurovision? MERS infection attacks what organ of the body? What American TV sitcom featured the dysfunctional Bundy family around for 87 to 97? Ryan, Philibert, and Sword are all types of what? Metalloids, actinides, lanthanides are all groups of what? What's the group of lines within a poem called? And what Disney movie we hear the song You Can Fly? Team Gavins, you have 2 minutes, but if you all get your questions in quicker, we'll just get going quicker. It's entirely up to you. I'm soloing the correction. Team Lobster already in. Team Lobster got our pixelated. Wow. Knocking it out of the park. Oh, so did Uncivil Servants. Did I make this a little bit too easy? Absolute Tulips are still looking for it. Gene with Finn got it. Oof. half a team's getting it on the first round. I thought it was a hard one. You're all just getting too good. I'm just waiting on one more team. Quarantina Turner, if you're out there. Ground control to you. Actual no guarantee they're here, so I'll give them some time, and if they haven't submitted in a minute, I'll drag in the answer sheets and see. We're gonna be able to. We're gonna be skipping through pixelateds pretty quickly if the tulips can get it next time. No pressure. All right, I'm collecting the answer sheets. Martin and Turner are here. They were just taking their time. Wow, big score too. All right, let's we binge watch Severance. Yes. Yes. Makes me so happy. I'm glad you didn't find it existential and depressing, which was the other possibility of how that might have gone, Lorraine. What city was Marco Polo born and buried in? He was born and buried in Venice, Italy. That's why the airport in Venice is named after him, Marco Polo Airport. So good guesses. A few people guessing other cities. Padua and Milan. Padua was a great guess, but Venice, what we're looking for. Another Italian city coming up next. What city is hosting this year's edition of Eurovision? Of course, Måneskin won it last year, so it is going to Italy. I think everyone knew it was going to Italy, except Gene with Finn. But it is going to Turin, not Rome. So semi-final 1 tonight, semi-final 2, which Ireland is in on Thursday, and the final, which Ireland will not be in on Saturday. And Ukraine is going to win. I don't know any other there's never been a more surefire thing in sport. I think we should just take countries that we're feeling sympathetic for in all sports, just give them a massive advantage. But I think it's to be fair, it's a good song, so happy enough. MERS attacks the lungs, of course. It's respiratory syndrome. That's what the RS stands for in all of these. SARS's, MERS's, etc's. American TV sitcom that featured the Bundy family was Married with Children. Ryan Flat, filbert, and sword are all types of paintbrush. I didn't know that. Well done if you got it. So brush or paintbrush. Metalloids, actinides, and lanthanides are all groups of elements on the periodic table of the elements. If you said anything periodic table or element related, you got the points. Well done. The group of lines within a poem are known as a stanza. I always thought it was just interchangeable with verse, but apparently not. So well done if you got that. And on what Disney movie will you hear the song You Can Fly? Someone said Dumbo, which I thought was a great answer. In fact, a lot of people said Dumbo, which... Did you all say Dumbo? Every team except Quarantina Turner said Dumbo, which is the perfectly acceptable answer. The correct answer is Peter Pan. So also involves some flying. So well done if you did that. Fair play if you said Dumbo. Every team except Absolute Tulips got our bonus. So you're all in the clear. I'm not going to punish the Tulips too much for this. I'll give you a round or two to get it, and then I'll just start giving you the points, because it would be wildly unfair if I don't. Team captains should be able to see your answer. The scoreboard. Quarantine Turner, you're leading on 8 points. Grey Aaron from me. Fake Frazzle Dazzle in second. Gene with Finn on Civil Servants. Team Lobster all tied, and then Tulips in sixth. Let's get rolling with round 2. Oh, are you saying thanks for the cliffhanger? Yeah. The cliffhanger is not my fault. It's apparently Ben Stiller's fault. So the writer didn't want to leave us on a cliffhanger. And spoiler for those of you watching Severance, it doesn't bloody end like it should, like a good limited series would. And then Ben Stiller was just like, no, let's just get rid of the last episode. And you're like, what a... Anyway, round 2 is ancient history. Team captains should be able to see your answer sheet. So let's go. Who was the father of Alexander the Great specifically? We're looking for a first name and a number. That's it, right? First name and number will do just fine. So like Henry the Fourth. That's the level of detail we're looking for Alexander the Great's father. Who was the father of Alexander the Great specifically? Question 2. Who is the Roman equivalent of the Greek goddess Aphrodite? Who is the Roman equivalent of the Greek goddess Aphrodite? Three. Name the video game franchise set in ancient medieval Iran that inspired a film adaptation starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Don't know how this managed to get into the ancient history round. It is medieval Iran, but well, let's roll with it. Name the video game franchise set in ancient and medieval Iran that inspired a film adaptation starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Question 4. The word gladiator comes from the Latin word gladius, meaning what? I feel like Finn, that's most people's strategy now for Pixelated, is like, as I say, move away from the screen, because that Pixelated was harder than any of them, but you're all getting them so early now. Fair play. The word gladiator comes from the Latin word gladius, meaning what? Question 5. What Greek island hosted one of the ancient wonders of the world at its main harbour entrance? What Greek island hosted one of the ancient wonders of the world at its main harbour entrance? Look for the name of the island, not the wonder. Question 6. Name the volcanoes, that's meant to be singular, name the volcano that erupted causing the destruction of Pompeii and Herculaneum. I think there's only one eye in Pompeii as well. Had been a lifelong dream of mine to visit Pompeii. Managed to do that on Friday, which was pretty neat. Just flexing my just flexing my trip. But it's an awesome spot, and actually also Naples is an awesome spot if any of you ever get a chance to go. Has a reputation for being a bit dirty and a bit sad. It's not. The food is amazing. People are lovely. And Pompeii is a very, very short train journey away, and it's awesome. Name the volcano that erupted causing the destruction of Pompeii and Herculaneum. 79 AD. Which character from Greek tragedy is said to have solved the riddle of the Sphinx? That was the what walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, 3 legs in the evening riddle. It's the Sophocles play, Greek tragedy. What character from Greek tragedy is said to have solved the riddle of the Sphinx? Question 8 in the Iliad, Legend of Troy. Which Trojan hero fired the arrow that killed Achilles? Yeah, the Iliad really is just it's just a book of people killing one person and then getting avenged in like a long chain, just like bang, bang, bang. In the Iliad, the legend of Troy, which Trojan hero fired the arrow that killed Achilles? Here's your pixelated. And our recap slide for the round. Who was the father of Alexander the Great? Specifically, who was the Roman equivalent of the Greek goddess Aphrodite? In the video game franchise set in ancient medieval Iran that inspired a film adaptation starring Jake Gyllenhaal, the word gladiator comes from the word gladius, meaning what? What Greek island hosts one of the ancient one of the world, its main harbor entrance? Name the volcano that erupted causing the destruction of Pompeii and Herculaneum. What Greek character from tragedy is said to have solved the riddle of the Sphinx? And in the Iliad, the legend of Troy, which Trojan hero fired the arrow that killed Achilles? Team captains, you have 2 minutes, or as soon as you get them in, we'll get going. But it's 24:30. You'll have until 26:30 to get those answers in. Wow, answers coming in thick and fast. Oh, yes. Tulips have got it. So we're in the clear. We all know that's the quickest everyone's ever got it, which isn't particularly surprising. Just waiting on 1 or 2 more answers. Quarantine Turner, you've got 10 seconds to submit your answers, and I'm forced submitting them. Oh, good things worth waiting for. Perfect score. Well, as we look at the scoreboard, firstly, the good news is that you've all got to pixelated, so we can skip through that. You don't need to put an answer in or whatever. I'll make sure you all get the points. For the avoidance of doubt, I will give everyone the points as opposed to giving no one the points because it does have an impact on minimum scores. Colin and Tina Turner, 17 points, lead the table. They're just 1 point ahead of Fake Frazzle Dazzle on 9. Gene with Finn got an 8, so they're 2 points off that on 14 on Civil Servants. Team Lobster and Absolute Tulips, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So yeah, still tight everywhere in the table. Who's the father of Alexander the Great specifically? Is Philip II. Philip II, yeah. I had to be really harsh with the team who gave us a Philip, because we did ask you for a first name and a number. And it's a shame, because I feel like Philip I is never really called Philip I, right? Unless another one comes along. But even still. So I feel like Philip II was a good guess. Someone guessed a Ptolemy or a Ptolemy. The Ptolemies, I think, were all the descendants of Alexander the Great who ruled in Egypt. But I could be wrong. They could just be general Macedonians who ruled in Egypt. But a good guess. Definitely the right era. Definitely the right part of the world. Definitely the right genus. Anyway, Roman equivalent of the Greek goddess Aphrodite is the goddess Venus. That's like love and desire. Somebody put down Diana, who's the goddess of the hunt, but also a good guess. Name the video game franchise set in ancient medieval Iran that inspired a film adaptation starring Jake Gyllenhaal's Prince of Persia. You guys remember that for the PS1? The word gladiator comes from the Latin word gladius, which is a short sword. Well done if you got that. The Greek island that hosted one of the ancient wonders at its main harbour entrance was Rhodes. Of course, Colossus of Rhodes. The other great wonders were the Mausoleum of Halicarnasse, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the statue of Zeus at Olympia, the pyramids of Giza, the lighthouse at Alexandria, and probably something else that I've missed. Name the volcano that erupted, causing destruction of Pompeii and Herculaneum. It was Mount Vesuvius. It's still there. It erupted in the 40s. It's kind of weird when you're at Pompeii, because lots of people live there, and you're like, aren't you guys like worried about that happening again? And they're very chill about it. I know one team put down Mount Etna, which is in Sicily, but a very good guess, as their there was also a southern Italian volcano as their guess, and that erupted. That's erupting right now, but that erupted in a serious way, like quite recently, in a way that killed people. So mental. The Italians are just very chill about the whole fault line situation they live on. The character in Greek tragedy who said to have solved the riddle of the Sphinx was Oedipus, right before he hooked up with his mom. Good times. In the Iliad, the legend of Troy, the Trojan hero that fired the arrow that killed Achilles is Paris. Achilles had just killed Paris's brother Hector, who had just killed Achilles' lover Patroclus, who had just killed Hector's buddy, or something like that. The harder one is who killed Paris. It was a guy called Philoctetes. Anyway, that gets on around 3 sports and games. You guys can see the scoreboard, so we don't need to do that. We can just shoot on. Team Captain should be able to see your answer sheets. Let's go. Question 1. What football club today announced the signing of Erling Haaland? Financial fair play, lol. What football club today announced the signing of Erling Haaland? Very hyped football player. What iconic Star Wars character signals the start of the pod races in The Phantom Menace? This is very loosely tangentially a sports and games question. I hope you guys appreciate how much I'm stretching here. I wanted an entire Star Wars round, given last week was, May the 4th, but I think we've done one before, so probably would have been and done. What iconic Star Wars character signals the start of the pod races in The Phantom Menace? Question 3. Rake in bunker term is associated with what sport? Rake in bunker term is associated with what sport? Question 4. What square is directly opposite jail on the standard Monopoly board? We mean diagonally opposite, so it's the one that you're furthest away from. Square is directly opposite jail on the standard Monopoly board. Question 5. What F1 team's nickname is the Silver Arrows? What F1 team's nickname is the Silver Arrows? Question 6. What sports film stars Amanda Bynes as a woman who pretends to be her brother to play men's soccer at his school? It's based on The Twelfth Night by one William Shakespeare. You may be familiar with it. I'm not sure it's the greatest adaptation of Shakespeare's work, but it's certainly in the bottom 4. What sports film stars Amanda Bynes as a woman who pretends to be her brother to play men's soccer at his school? Question 7. What acronym that shares its name with a common agricultural animal is used to describe the best players of specific sports? Yes, Tom Brady, Lionel Messi, Roger Federer, Michael Jordan, and I guess LeBron James, Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafa Nadal, Novak Djokovic. They've all been described as this. What acronym that shares the name of the common agricultural animals used to describe the best player of specific sports? Question 8. What musician caused Munster to have to move their Heineken Cup match to Dublin last week? This was a bad question to ask. It would have been much more interesting to ask you guys about penalty shootouts in rugby before. I've been a rugby fan my whole life and I've only ever known of 3 penalty shootouts to happen in the history of the game. But anyway, well, that's not what I asked. I asked about what musician caused the game to be moved. But an absolutely heartbreaking way for Munster to go out of the tournament. Say as a diehard Leinster fan. What musician caused Munster to have to move their Heineken Cup match to Dublin last week? Let's skip this and let's go on to the recap slide. Just before we do the recap, yes, sour note. As you guys can see, we're not throwing up contribution slides anymore, and one of the reasons why we're not throwing up contribution slides anymore is because I always felt when you guys contributed to the quiz, you were investing in it in the future of the quiz and keeping it going. So at this point, the point where we usually throw it up, I wanted to say that we're probably going to wrap the quiz up here in May. So it's going to go on certainly to the 24th. So we'll certainly be back next week and the week after. But the truth is that beyond the week after that, we're going to be away for like 3 or 4 weeks. And rebuilding the momentum in July in the middle of summer doesn't seem realistic. It's not really fair on you guys. So just an FYI for all of you. Thank you again for your continued support. I will give you the recap and we'll take a break in a minute. But that's why those slides are missing, and that's what the plan is for the next little while. So we'll have plenty of time to talk about it over the next 3 quizzes, but I thought I'd just flag it nice and early. But anyway, what football club today announced the signing of Erling Haaland? What iconic Star Wars character signals the start of the pod races in The Phantom Menace? Rake in bunkered term is associated with what sport? What square is directly opposite jail on the standard Monopoly board? What F1 team's nickname is the Silver Arrows? What sports film stars Amanda Bynes, who disguises as her brother to play men's soccer? What acronym that shares its name with a common agricultural animal is used to describe the best players of specific sports? And what musician caused Munster to move their Heineken Cup match to Dublin last week? Team captains, you have... we're not done yet, Peter. Team captains, you have a couple of minutes. We'll come back for the second half of the quiz at 8:43. I'll see you guys then. Wow, that's the wrong button. The heck did I hit that? What even is that button? Right after saying I wasn't going to put it up and I just press a button that brings up an old one. There we go. Jesus. There's some weird shortcuts wired into this keyboard. Thanks all for your kind words. But we have a couple of quizzes still to go, so and you should save them for the last ones because I'm not sure Scorcher Katie is watching right now, and she deserves those niceties much more than me, I can tell you that. Let's go. Let's have a wee look at your answers. You guys did pretty well this round. Oh, close. Let me just quickly, really late entry. How you doing? Welcome to the game. I'll give you some points. Let's zip through the answers to round, shall we? What football club today announced the signing of Erling Haaland? It is, of course, Manchester City. They don't have financial fair play where they come from. What iconic Star Wars character signals the start of the pod race in the Phantom Menace? It's Jabba the Hutt, kind of weirdly. I don't, was a weird way to bring him back into the series. But anyway, Jabba the Hutt. Rake in Bunker is associated with golf, of course. Easy enough. What square is directly opposite the jail on the Standard Monopoly? It's Go to Jail. Is the square that's directly opposite jail. So do watch out for it. What F1 team's nickname is the Silver Arrows? It's Mercedes AMG Petronas or whatever they're called. Mercedes or Petronas, but that's a bit of a stretch. But I gave the points. What sports film stars Amanda Bynes as a woman who pretends to be her brother to play men's soccer at his school? She's the Man. She's the Man. There was various alterations of She's the Man, She's Got Game, etc. But She's the Man is what we were looking for. What acronym that shares its name with common agricultural animal used to describe players best of the sport? It's GOAT. Greatest of all time. What musician caused Munster to have to move their Heineken Cup match to Dublin last week? It was Ed Sheeran, who paid tribute to Munster by coming on stage in a Munster jersey, which was, I think it was pretty cool. Let's have a quick look at the scoreboard. So we've got Quarantine Turner top of the pile right now. 8 points on that round. So 25 points in all. Frazzle Dazzle keeping the pressure on. They also got 8 points, so they're just one off 24. Then we have Gene with Finn and Uncivil Servants. You guys are tied. Uncivil Servants with the only perfect score of that round. Team Lobster climbing the table with an 8. Absolute Tulips and really late entry getting 6 each. Really late entry. I'll give you some minimum points for rounds 1 and 2, so you got a chance of catching up. But let's get going with round 4, which is a picture round. What's that city? All of the answers are cities. Standard enough stuff, so the absolute best of luck. Switch to this format up here. Hey guys, how you doing? Let's start next round. Team Cameras should be able to see your answer sheets. Let's go. Famous architect that's famously associated with this city. You must be one of our most dispersed teams, Frazzle. Did you have a teammate in Iran or Iraq at some stage as well? Am I wrong? What city is that? Question 2. What city is this? Question 3. What city is this? On to question 4. What city is this? Question 5. City is this. I think the guy pictured in the statue is from Cork, actually. But what city is it? Question 6. Question 7. And finally, question 8. And here is your recap slide for the round. So I'm going to go full screen and give you guys 2.5 minutes to get those answers in. Remember, just give us the name of the city. It's 8:52. You've got until 8:55 to get those answers in. How we doing, Team Cams? I think I said your man in the statue was from Cork, but I think he's actually from Wexford. That's my bad. Any Wexforders amongst us? Feel free to get out to me. I think it was quite a tough round. We've been a bit easy on these Where's That City rounds before. This one is certainly a little more abstract. Not abstract, but it's a little less mainstream. Alright, Team Cams. I'm going to collect those answer sheets in about 20 seconds, so do get those answers in. If you think you're going to be on for a minimum, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Let's collect those answer sheets and get over some of these answers, shall we? A couple of you have given the same wrong answers. If I was a primary school teacher, I'd suspect you've copying each other's homework. But anyway. Oh. Fake Frazzle Dazzle getting some points. Everybody else sort of struggling. So let's go over the answers to the round, shall we? This is one of the kind of many buildings in Barcelona designed by Gaudi. It's that style of sort of bubbly, almost fantasy-esque architecture, which is really, really cool. So Barcelona is the answer we're looking for there. This is a building in Copenhagen. I don't know anything about it. It's almost all of you said Stockholm. I don't know if anyone got this. So if you said Stockholm, I wouldn't be worried about it whatsoever. It was a very, very good guess. I think I knew this one from the Formula One, because you can sometimes see in like the overhead shots of the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, this big bubbly thing which is left over from the World Fair, which was sometime in the early 20th century in Montreal. But anyway, Glasgow, traffic cone on top of horse, classic, absolute classic. Scottish behaviour at its absolute best. You gotta love it. I think it's the statue of Admiral John Barry, the first officer in the US Navy after they got their independence, from Wexford. But that is sitting outside Independence Hall or Constitution Hall or Independence Hall, whatever it's called, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I don't know if you got that. That's Beijing. Bank of China building, I think, maybe. World Trade Center, something like that. This wonderful cathedral, if you zoomed out a little bit more, I think it's be way easier, because it's in front of it and sweeping down the hill towards the sea are these like rows of beautiful, colourful houses. One of my favourite tourist attractions in all of Ireland is Spike Island, the former prison island, which you get to from Cove, and this is the view you see on the boat and from the island as you head out the island. If you're in the region, Cove itself is a slightly unloved town. You know, could always do with a couple of visitors. And Spike Island's a truly exquisite tourist attraction. So if you ever do find yourself in the south of Ireland, give it a go. And this head on a plinth is in Krakow in Poland. So tough round. As a result, the scoreboard has only changed in one place because everyone got minimums except for Frazzle Dazzle, who have jumped to the top of the table. They are leading by 1 point over Quarantine Turner. So it's all very, very competitive. Everybody else, it is as you were. Movie Madness is the next round. Let's get back to the regular format and get going. Team Captain should be able to see your answer sheets. Let's go. What actor plays Private Ryan in Saving Private Ryan? Steven Spielberg's epic. Inspired by a vaguely true story. I think one of my favorite movies. I think quite highly of it. So it's a good enough picture. What actor plays Private Ryan in Saving Private Ryan? Question 2 in Risky Business. What song does Tom Cruise famously lip sync to in his underwear? In Risky Business, what song does Tom Cruise famously lip sync to in his underwear? Question 3. In what movie musicals would you hear the songs The Candyman and Pure Imagination? Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. In what movie musical would you hear the songs The Candyman and Pure Imagination? Question 4. What actress said the famous line, "Fasten your seatbelts, it's gonna be a bumpy night" in 1950's All About Eve? What actress said the famous line, "Fasten your seatbelts, it's going to be a bumpy night" in 1950's All About Eve? Question 5. What highly acclaimed Richard Linklater drama was filmed and produced over 12 years? What highly acclaimed Richard Linklater drama was filmed and produced over 12 years? Question 6. Who's the only actor to receive an Oscar nomination for acting in a Lord of the Rings movie? Who's the only actor to receive an Oscar nomination for acting in a Lord of the Rings movie? Question 7. Which country was the 2017 movie Call Me By Your Name filmed? In which country was the 2017 movie Call Me by Your Name filmed? Question 8. Who played the Green Goblin in 2002's box office smash Spider-Man? That's one of the Tobey Maguire ones, if you're wondering. Who played the Green Goblin in 2002 box office smash Spider-Man? Y'all know what that was. And here is your recap slide. Which actor plays Private Ryan in Saving Private Ryan? A Risky Business? What song does Tom Cruise famously lip sync to in his underwear? And what movie musicals would you hear the songs? The Candyman and Pure Imagination. What actor said the famous line Fasten Your Seatbelts going to be bumpy night? 1950s All About Eve. What highly acclaimed Richard Linklater drama was filmed over and produced in 12 years? Who is the only actor to receive an Oscar nomination for Lord of the Rings movie? What country is the 2017 movie Call Me by Your Name filmed in? And who played the Green Goblin in 2002 box office smash Spider-Man? Team captains, you have 2 minutes as always. Get your answers in as quick as you can. It's 21:05. You have until 21:07. The record, I think Call Me By Your Name is also set in the same place. There's no like trick there. We're being super harsh on question 3. Because we can be. I think we're being super harsh because there's teams who get it right. Oh, that's so close. Breaks my heart how close that is. Alright, team fans, I'm collecting the answer sheet, so if you haven't already hit somebody, please do hit it. Alright, let's zip over the answer, shall we? What actor plays Private Ryan in Saving Private Ryan? Yeah, it's the eponymous part. Doesn't really come into the movie until the final kind of quarter or so. So certainly not as important as Tom Hanks or even Vin Diesel or any of those good lads. But it's Matt Damon who plays Private Ryan, the titular character. Risky Business. Tom Cruise famously lip syncs old time rock and roll in his underwear. What movie musical would you hear the songs The Candyman and Pure Imagination? This is where we're harsh, right? Because Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the name of the book or something. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is the name of the movie. Oof. So yeah, rough times. Rough times. What actress said the famous line Fasten Your Seatbelt is going to be bumpy night and All About Eve? It was Bette Davis. Feud, if you haven't watched it on HBO, is about the rivalry between Bette Davis and... Nope, it's gone. Just watch the TV show. What highly acclaimed Richard Linklater drama was filmed and produced over 12 years? We were looking for Boyhood. Boyhood. Who is the only actor to receive an Oscar nomination for acting in Lord of the Rings movie? Sir Ian McKellen got an Oscar nomination. Someone put Andy Serkis there, which is a good guess. And Andy Serkis, for me, deserved an Oscar. But it's actually famously been a point of pain for Andy Serkis that he doesn't feel he gets enough credit for acting in motion capture animation suits. That goes for both Kong and Gollum, Schmeagol, whatever. It also is a point of contention for a lot of the animators that worked on Gollum and Schmeagol and Kong, that they don't get enough animation credit for the stuff that Andy Serkis does in the motion caption suits, to the point where it's been a little bit bitter. So an interesting little tidbit there about Andy Serkis and motion capture. 2017's Call Me By Your Name was filmed in Italy and set in northern Italy. Who played the Green Goblin in the 2002 box office smash Spider-Man? It was William Dafoe. That is Spider-Man's nemesis in the movie. Spider-Man had a couple of allies in the movie. They were played by William Defriend. And that gets us on to round 6, Alphabet Soup. If anyone didn't think I was going to make that joke, you are. Alright, displaying the scoreboard, we have Fake Faz Razzle first, 37 points. Quarantine and Turner second on 36 points. Everything to play for there. Gene with Finn and Civil Servants tied for third, battling out for the podium, 33 points each. Absolute Tulips are just one behind Team Lobster, 27 and 28. So there's absolutely loads to play for. Everything is on the line. Yeah, everything's on the line. Let's go. Alphabet Soup. Team Canada should be able to see your answer sheets. Let's roll. Question 1. In 1659, France and Spain signed a treaty named for this mutual P mountain range. (1659) France and Spain signed a treaty named for this P mountain range. Question 2. The USS S-Blank was the first American submarine to sink a Japanese ship during World War II. The USS S-Blank was the first American submarine to sink a Japanese ship during World War II. Question 3. It is said spider webs are rich in what vitamin? Said that spider webs are rich in what vitamin? Question 4. The T-Blank Strait separates Australia and Papua New Guinea. Australian straits have been on a few quizzes recently. This one's a tough one. Good luck getting this one. The T-Blank Strait separates Australia and Papua New Guinea. Question 5. Batman / Bruce Wayne's butler is named Alfred P. Blank. Speaking of Andy Serkis, he plays him in the most recent Batman film. Batman / Bruce Wayne's butler is named Alfred P. Blank. Question 6. In Canada and Greenland, the term Eskimo has been widely replaced by what I term? Canada and Greenland, the term Eskimo has been widely replaced by what I term? Question 7. What god in Norse mythology is commonly portrayed as a one-eyed, long-bearded, and wielding a spear? Lots of mythology on today's quiz. What god in Norse mythology is commonly portrayed as a one-eyed, long-bearded, and wielding a spear? Question 8, final question on this evening's quiz. What does the S&P stand for in S&P 500? What does the S&P stand for in S&P 500? That was your Pixelated. Here is your recap slide. In 1659, France and Spain signed a treaty naming this mutual P mountain range. The USS S Blank was the first American submarine to sink Japanese ships during World War II. It is said that spider web is rich in vitamin. The T Blank Strait separates Australia and Papua New Guinea. Batman / Bruce Wayne's butler is named Alfred P. Blank. In Canada and Greenland, the term Eskimo has been widely replaced by what I term what god in Norse mythology is commonly portrayed as a one-eyed, long-bearded, and wielding a spear. And what does the S&P stand for in S&P 500? Team Cams, you have 2 minutes, as always. We'll play some Table Foggle. We'll go over the correct answers. We'll reveal the winners. We'll go into the other room and watch Eurovision. If it's still on. Or you can do whatever you want. It's your evening. Get your answers in if you haven't already done so. I think I've almost got everybody's. We're waiting on one team. Frazzle Dazzle. Who's he? Alright, let's dramatic ends. Let's play Table Foggle. It's the only thing to do. It's absolutely the only thing to do. I haven't collected the answer sheets yet. I'm going to compete with you on Table Foggle this time. You guys know how this works. 2 minutes. It's going to start right now. Didn't start. It didn't start. Nice one, Chris. It's going to start right now. Good luck, everybody. Just 50 seconds, team captains. Thirty seconds. And we are done. Alright, let's zip over the correct answers to the round. Shall we? In 1659, France and Spain signed a treaty named for the Pyrenees, the Treaty of the Pyrenees. USS. Everyone said Saratoga for this. If you said Saratoga, that's what I would have said too. It turns out Saratoga were a bunch of aircraft carriers, but they're obviously more famous than the Swordfish, which was the submarine. Spiderwebs are rich in vitamin. Okay, man. Okay. The T strait that separates Australia and Papua New Guinea very hard. Torres, as in Fernando. Batman and Bruce Wayne's butler is Alfred Pennyworth. In Greenland and Canada, we don't say Eskimo anymore, we say Inuit. Odin was the Norse kind of god of gods. One-eyed, long-bearded, and wielding a spear. S&P stands for Standard and Poor. This turned out to be very, very important because Frazzle Dazzle said Standard and Port. Very close. Could have just been a autocorrect or a misheard answer from someone else. Standard and Poor is what we're looking for. And that means that in the end, dramatic times, it finished all tied up at the top of the table. Quarantina Turner on 8 in the final round. Frazzle Dazzle on 7. 44 each. Decided by Table Foggle, which was very close today across the board. Absolute Tulips won the Table Foggle today with 52. But 46 for Gene with Finn, 46 for Quarantina Turner, myself with 42, tied with Uncivil Servants, bunch of legends. So very, very high score Table Foggles. Third place, Uncivil Servants on the podium, Gene with Finn, just slipping up in the last round to slip to 4. Team Lobster in 5th and Absolute Tulips in 6th. Folks, as I said, we'll be back next week. We'll be back the week after, so there's a little bit more Table Foggle left to play. If you're around, we'd love to see you. But in the meantime, from myself, from Katie, from Aiden, from Richie, from Rick, thank you so much for playing. Have a great night, have a great week, have a great weekend. Looking forward to seeing you all again soon. Well done, good evening, and good night.